First of all, thanks for being here in my YouTube channel. So friends, before solving all the important 30 questions on this video, so know one thing, do not forget to purchase the book as well as the test series on a combo pack which is available on our platform. So my quantitative aptitude book as well as railway SSC test package. So don't forget to purchase this, where the link is available in the description page. So everything, delivery charge, everything included. So do not forget to purchase this pack if you are preparing for an SSC exam. So now let me move on to all the 30 important questions on this video. So friends, now before solving all the 30 questions on this video, that is on the topic circle, just we can have a quick recall some of the important points on the circles, important formulas and important words you can able to see in the question. So before solving all those things, first we can have a quick recall so that while solving the question you may not feel anything, you will not struggle, right, while solving it. We can just like that you can solve the questions. So now first, when you take circles, where circles you can able to see on two areas on quantitative aptitude. One is circles on measurements, right, and second is circles on geometry. So here when you take measurements, you have to learn two important formulas for the circle. One is the area of the circle. So area of the circle will be pi r square. And second will be circumference of the circle, which is 2 pi r. So we have two major formulas on the topic circle, that is on the measurement. So now in this video, we will be solving a question that is based on measurement, not on geometry. When you take a geometry, we have chord, tangent, indirect tangent, direct tangent. So many steps are there. I have already posted video on it. So let me discuss about later on. But now in this video, we will be solving a question only that is on circle measurements, right? Okay, so first you have to remember these 2 points. So now getting into the important concepts of the circle. So first one is you have to learn how to solve a question that is based on a sector, right? If it is a circle, they are like from the center point, if we need to find only area of this region, which is called as a sector. Some part if you take from a circle, which they call it as a sectors. So if you need to find only the area of this sector, you don't want to learn any new formula. Just see, we know the total area of the circle. What is the total area of the circle? Which is pi r square. So pi r square will be the area of the circle. Out of this, our target is to find only this sector. So we have to see what is the angle of this sector. For example, if the angle is 60 degree, from the total area pi r square, you have to multiply 60 degrees so that you can able to find only the area of that region. If you need to find the area of the remaining region, we know that the total angle will be, circle will be 360 degree. So out of 360 degree, if you subtract 60 degree, the resultant will be 300. So you can multiply with 300 degree so that the remaining area we can able to find out. So you don't want to learn any new formulas. So first one, you should know how to find the area of the sector. And second importantly, you should know how to find the length of the arc. So what is called as arc first? If you just draw a diagram like this, let's see from the center point, this will be point A and this will be point B. So they will call it this distance or this length, which is called as an arc length. So in order to find the arc length, again you don't want to learn any new formula. If we need to find the area, right, area of that sector part, what we did, 60 degree into, for example, I'm saying for this question, 60 degree, what is the angle they have given, into area. If we need to find the length of the arc, this length of the arc is on the circumference, right? Circumference of the circle, right? So the total circumference of the circle, which is 2 pi r. So out of this 2 pi r, if we need to find this arc length alone, multiply the circumcenter into angle of 60 degree, right? So friends, see here only two formula. One is circumference, circumference, right? So circumference of the circle, because this is the total circumference of the circle. Out of this circumference of a circle, we need to find only this length. So circumference of the circle into the angle into 60 degree. If it is 30 degree into 30 degree, resultant value will be the length of the arc. So friends, understood or not, right? And these two line indicates the radius of the circle. So these two line will be the radius of the circle. So only two important things that you need to remember here in the concept of a sector. So sector area, so pi r square into the angle. In case if we need to find the arc of the length, circumference of the circle, sorry, I wrongly told while teaching it, it's circumference of a circle into the area angle, right? So now, these are the two important formulas. And you don't want to buy out anything, right? Just in what we already learnt in the formula, just multiply only the angle. Resultant will be the area, or else resultant will be the length of the arc. Based upon the question, they will ask you different value. So we know how to solve all those things. While solving a question, we can see that. And second important thing is two important words you can able to see in the circle concept. One is circle or else inscribed, circumscribed. So you can able to see while reading a question, you can see that inscribed, circumscribed. So first we need to understand what is called as inscribed. Inscribed, if you find the word in, remember that a circle which is inside some dimension, for example, it can be inside a square. A circle is inscribed in a square. That means inside a square there is a circle, or else inside a rectangle there is a circle, or else inside a triangle there is a circle, which is called as inscribed. Inscribed into a triangle, inscribed into a rectangle. If it is a circumference, sorry, it is not circumference, it's circumscribed. If it is circumscribed, the meaning is the circle will be, so circumscribed. Circumscribed is nothing but we have a square or a rectangle or a triangle which is inside the circle. So friends, can you see the difference between these 2 points? So here it is inscribed, here it is circumscribed, right? If it is a circumscribed, inside a circle we have some dimensions, for example square or a rectangle or a triangle, whatever be. But if it is an inscribed, then you have to understand that the circle will be inscribed inside a triangle or a rectangle or a square, right? So this is the difference between 2 points. And let me discuss these things about later on. But remember one thing alone. So if a square, right, if a square is inside a circle, then the diagonal of the square which act as a diameter of the circle. So friends, understood or not? If we have a square which is inside a circle, then the diameter of this square is equals to diagonal of the square, which is equals to diameter of the circle. Both are same. Similarly, if we have this will be okay. So let's take a circle which is inside a square. So here, if we need to find what is the diameter of the circle, then resultant will be the length or side of the square. For example, if the side of the square is 5, all the 4 sides will be 5, because square means all the sides will be same. So if 5, 5, 5, then the diameter of the circle will also be 5. So if it is a rectangle, then if we need to find what is the diameter of the circle, remember that the breadth will always be equals to diameter of the circle, because length will not be the diameter of the circle, only the breadth will be equals to diameter of the circle, right? And then one point alone, one new formula alone you have to learn here, that is equilateral triangle formula. So here we are going to learn circles, but what is the necessity that we have to learn the equilateral triangle formula here? Because if you take a circle question, 99% of the question that is related to circle and a triangle, mostly they use a equilateral triangle. For example, there is a circle inside that we have a triangle. Example I am saying, right? So a circle, inside that we have a triangle. Triangle, we have multiple types of triangles: scalene triangle, isosceles triangle, right angle triangle, equilateral triangle. But most probably 99%, if they are drawing a triangle inside a circle, 99% the triangle will be mostly an equilateral triangle. So learn the equilateral triangle area formula, as well as learn the equilateral triangle radius formula, which act as a center point, right? Finding the center point of the equilateral triangle. If we learn how to find the center point of the equilateral triangle, that act as the radius of the circle. Right? Very small formulas. I think root 3 by 4 a square. So while solving it, I can tell you that formula also. We have only two formula. One is to find the radius, that is the center point of the equilateral triangle, and second is the area of the equilateral triangle, root 3 by 4 a square. So those two formulas that you need to remember before solving a question. And then at last, the most important stuff is the two circles, concentric circles, right? So you should know what is called as concentric circles. So concentric circle is nothing but inside a bigger circle we have another circle, one circle inside another circle, which is called as a concentric circle. So most probably if we have one circle inside another circle, then we have two radius. So this will be radius 1 and this outer circle will be radius 2. So always while solving a question, subtract R1 and R2. Some students will take it as R1 and some students will take it as R2. But I usually always take the outer circle as R1 and inner circle as R2. The main thing here is always while subtracting, right? While solving a question, while subtracting the values, remember that sometimes you will get a negative value because you are wrongly subtracting the value. Always you have to subtract the larger, that is the length, radius of the outer circle length will be more when compared to the inner circle. So always subtract the outer circle radius minus inner circle radius so that you will not get a negative value. So that's the reason I am taking always the outer circle as R1 and the inner circle as R2, right? So these things you need to remember. And then circle that touches externally and the circle that touches internally. So if you see a question that is related to two circles that touches externally, externally means only this is called as circle 1 and circle 2, which touches externally, outside. So if a question that is related to two circle that touches internally, that means you have to draw a diagram like this. So circle 1, circle 2, which touches the circle internally. So mostly in the geometry, you can able to see a concept like this, but in a normal questions in measurements, you can able to see mostly concentric circles or else external touching circles, but internally it's a very rare case. So friends, I hope we have a quick revision and a recall about the important concepts of the circles. So I hope it is useful before solving a question. So remember that you have to learn two formulas and another two formulas. First two formula will be area of the circle and second will be circumference of the circle formula, which is 2 pi r. By using these two formulas, you can able to find another two things. One is the sector area as well as arc length. By using these two same formula, you can able to find those two values also. And then the next two new formula that you have to learn is the equilateral triangle. So area of an equilateral triangle and how to find the center point, which is called as a radius of the equilateral triangle. Learn those two things. And then some important words on the questions you can able to see. One is circumference, that is circumscribed, inscribed. Inscribed is nothing but the circle is inside another dimensions, another two dimensions, square, triangle, rectangle, B. Circumscribed is nothing but inside a circle there will be some dimensions. See, inside a circle we have square, inside a circle we will have a triangle or rectangle, whatever be, right? So based upon that we can solve the questions here. So I think it's enough, right? It's more than enough to solve the questions for the circles. Now let me move on to all the 30 questions here. So now let me move on to all the 30 questions here. So before solving it, one thing I need to say always while solving, even when you watch my video, I have said this. So you have to remember two things every time while solving a question on the topic measurement. One is the options. So first always look at the options, how the options are, whether options are we have pi in the options or we don't have pi in the option, which is most important. And second is the conversions, because in some of the question you can able to see the value will be in centimeter, but the options will be in meter. So you have to very careful on these two things. First always check the question whether you have pi in the options, and then second is in the options whether they have changed the measurement centimeter to meter, meter to centimeter, like that. And then check for each and every question so that you won't make any mistake, and then you will save most of the time in the exams. So first question, let's solve it. Find the area of the sector with the central angle 150 degree in a circle with the radius of 12 centimeter. So our target is to find what is the area of the sector. So first always after reading a question, look at the options. Options we have, in all the options they have pi, pi, pi. So we anywhere else you should not convert the pi into 22/7 while solving it. Remember that. And second importantly, the value radius has been given in terms of centimeter, and options we have also in centimeter. So no conversions were made. So these two things always while solving a measurement question, have a look into it before solving it, right? So now we have a circle and our target is to find what is the area of the sector which has an angle of 150 degree. So just now I have told you, don't learn any new formula. Just remember that the total area of a circle is what? Pi r square. So out of this pi r square, just multiply this part alone, which is 150 degree. So pi, do not write this as 22/7. Why? Because in the options we have pi as it is. So do not write this as 22/7. Most important thing. Because if you write 22/7 and after cancelling it, again converting the value into pi, it might take more minutes and time waste also in the exams. So just look at the options first and then solve the question. So radius. Radius is already given in the question, which is 12. So don't write it as 12 square as 144. Write as 12 into 12. So that the calculation part will be little bit easy. So 150 degree. If you need to remove the degree, divided by 360. Right? If it is a percentage, divided by 100. If it is a degree, divided by 360. So now try to cancel it. We can cancel 0, 0 here. 1 12s are 12. 12 3s are 36. So 1 3s are 3. 5 3s are 15. So 5 into 12 will be 60. So 60 pi. So because of an area, it will be centimeter square. That's it. Right? So answer for the first question is 60 pi centimeter square. Question number 2. So find the area of a sector of a circle with the diameter 14 centimeter if the area of the sector makes an angle 150 degree at the center of the circle. Use pi is equals to 22/7. So just see here, we need to find what is the area of the sector. And first what you need to do, look at the options. In the options we don't have pi. And second importantly, some of the options are in a mixed fraction. So here what we found here is we have to remove the pi, 22/7, write it as 22/7. So according to the question, our target is to find what is the area of the circle. And from the center point which makes an angle, so the angle has been given which is 120 degree. So by using this, our target is to find the area. So what I have told you, so pi r square is the total area of the circle into the required area is around 120 degree. So pi will be 22/7. Don't write it as 3.14. So radius. So here they have given a diameter as 14. If the diameter is 14, radius will be 7. Don't write as 7 square as 49. Write this as 7 into 7. So into 120 degree. So 120 divided by 360. So 121 times, this will be 3 times 7, 7 we can cancel it. I think that's it. We can't able to cancel further. So answer will be 154 divided by 3 because 22 into 7 will be 154. Denominator we have 3. So now look at the options. Some of the options values are in a mixed fraction. So better divide 154 divided by 3. So 4 3s are 12 or else 5 3s are 15 directly, which is 0 here. We have 4. 1 times 3, 1. So write in a clockwise direction. So we have 51 1 by 3. That's it. So the answer for this question is 51 1 by 3, which is the area of this sector part. Look at the options. The values are in centimeter. Given values are in centimeter. Options is also in centimeter. So we can say that answer for this question 51 1 by 3 centimeter square. Third question. So what is the perimeter of a sector of a circle if the radius of the circle is 10.5 centimeter and the angle subtended at the center of the circle is 60 degree? What is the perimeter of the sector of a circle? See, our target is to find the sector perimeter. Actually, we know that circle, for the circle, if we need to find the area of a sector, we use a formula pi r square into angle. But what is the target? Our target is to find what is the perimeter of the sector. Perimeter means this line length, right? These two line length as well as the arc length, which act as the perimeter. So we have to, this we already know that this will be the radius of the circle. So this line length is also be the radius of the circle. And then we have to find this line length. This line length, which is called as arc length. So arc length is nothing but circumference of a circle formula into the angle. Resultant will be the arc length. So just now we have learnt it. So we have to find only the perimeter of the sector region. So perimeter of the sector region will be this part. So now, what are all the values that we need to add here? So first radius, and then again this line radius, and the last will be circumference of the circle, which is 2 pi r. Out of that, we have to find only this length alone. So what is the angle they have denoted here, which is 60 degree. So this angle will be 60 degree. That's it. So after writing us, look at the options. So where all the options are just a direct numbers, we don't have pi in the option. So now it is very easy that you can convert the pi into 22 by 7. What is the radius here? According to the question, they have given the radius of the circle, which is 10.5. So write down all the values. First 10.5 radius plus 10.5 plus 2 into 22 by 7 into 10.5 into 60 degree. So 60 divided by 360. Don't think that the calculation will be very difficult. It's very easy and simple. Be slow. Be like, don't use any shortcuts for the multiplication. I think be slow and be confident. Right? 10, 20, 0.5 will be 121. So these two part will be 21. Right? The second importantly. So we can cancel directly 60 6 times, which is 360. So now 1 2s are 2, 3 2s are 6. Yes, again we can cancel it, or you can cancel it by 7 table. So 1 7s are 7, remaining will be 3, which is 3.5, 35, 7 5s are 35, which will be 1.5. So again we can cancel it on 3 table, 1 3s are 3, which is 0.5. So friends, understood or not? How I did? So finally, after multiplying all the values, we got 22 into 0.5 here. 0.5 is nothing but 1 by 2. Yes or no? Right? 1 by 2, which is called as 0.5. So 1 by 2 will be 11. So 21 plus 11 will be 32. So finally we can say that answer for this question, which is 32, we have in option number C. So friends, easy or not, right? So most of the measurement topic questions, the multiplication, you might think it is difficult. It's not at all difficult. Be slow. Don't cancel all the values just like that fastly. Be slow, right? Surely you will get the answer. Not too slow, just be little bit slow, right? Carefully cancel all the values. Definitely you will get the answer for sure, right? So answer for this question, which is 32. Question number 4. So what is the area of the region swept by minute and 6 centimeter long of a wall clock in the interval of 5 minutes? See, It is also related to a question that is we solved in a sector concept. Sector concept, they have given a direct angle, but here what they are saying is there is a clock, right? In the clock we need to find what is the area of the region that was covered by the minute and an hour hand. So what they have given is the minute hand is 6 centimeter long. For example, let's take, if you take this as a minute hand which act as a radius of the circle, right? So radius of the circle is how much? 6 centimeter, and then it covers a region of 5 minutes. They have given, see, on the wall clock in an interval of 5 minutes. That means this, for example, let's take this is 6 and this will be 5. So this will be the interval of 5 minutes. So this part alone, so friends, understood or not what I am saying? So we have to find what is the area of this part. If we need to find the area of this part, we have to find what is the angle of this. Only if you know the angle, we can able to find what is the area of this 5 minutes interval, this area, this part, or else this sector alone. So remember that while learning a clock topic on my, I think I have posted a video separately 5 to 6 lesson on the clock, or else if you didn't watch it, no problem. Remember that if you take a clock, right, if you take a clock which is circle, so 360 degree, and this clock is divided into how many part? 12 part. Yes, 2, 3, 4, etc. So totally 12. So 360 divided by 12, that means each 1 hour the angle will be 30 degree. Yes, so 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, so that when you add all the 30, resultant will be 360. So here also we can able to see if the part covered only 5 minutes, then the angle will be 30 degree here. So now finding the area of this sector is very easy. Why? Because we have an angle of 30 degree and we know the radius. Just apply the values in the formula. So total area of a circle is pi r square, and the angle that was covered for this 5 minutes interval will be 30 degree. So 30 degree. That's it. Look at the options. In the options we have all the options are in a decimal point, and no options we don't have pi here. So convert the pi as 22 by 7. So radius will be 6 into 6. So 30 degree can be written as 30 divided by 360. That's it. So we can cancel it. So 1 6 are 6. 6 6 are 36. We can cancel 6 and 6 here. So now that's it. We can't able to further cancel it. So 66 by 7. 9 7s are 63. So remaining we have 3. 7 4s are 28. 9.4 something. So look at the options. We have only one option, that is option number A, which is 9.4 something. So we don't want to find the next number, because if all the options are 9.4, we can find the next thing. But only one option, which is 9.4. So we can say that option number A will be the answer for this question. Okay? Interesting question. Remember that for every 5 minutes interval, the angle of minute hand and hour hand will be 30 degree, because 360 degree has been divided into 12 part. And if you didn't watch the clock video, kindly go to my YouTube channel. You will able to see the clock separately, which is important for your exams, SSC exams. So this will be the answer for the fourth question. Fifth question, find the area of the circle region whose circumference is 22 centimeters. See, we need to find the area of the circle. Area of the circle formula is what? Pi r square. So pi will be 22 by 7, but radius is not given here. But instead what they have given? They have given the circumference. So circumference of the circle has been given, which is 22 centimeter. I think by using the circumference of a circle, we have to find the radius. After finding the radius, we have to apply in the area formula to find the area of a circle. Very easy and interesting. So be slow, right? First, what is the value they have given, which is 22 centimeter? What is the 22? Circumference. Circumference formula will be 2 pi r. So 2 pi r is equals to 22. So circumference of the circle value is 22. So circumference formula equal to 22. So 2 into 22 by 7 into radius, which is unknown, so 22. So now we can cancel 22 here. So radius is equals to 7 by 2. That's it. So initially we found that by using the circumference, we found the radius, which is equals to 7 by 2. So now according to the question, what we need to find here is the area of the circle. Area of the circle will be pi r square. So pi will be 22 by 7, radius 7 by 2 into 7 by 2. So now we can cancel it. So we can cancel 7 and 7 here. We can cancel 1 times 11 times. So 77 divided by 2. 77 divided by 2, which will be around 30. Whether all the values in a decimal point? Yes, all the values are in, sorry. Last value you can able to see in a decimal point. I think that will be the answer, because 72 by 2 will be 38, which is 76.5. So 38.5. So 38.5. And all the values are in centimeter, so the area will be centimeter square. That's it. So answer for this question is 38.5 centimeter square. So friends, understood. They have given only the circumference. Based upon that, we found the radius. After finding the radius, I have applied in the area formula in order to find the area of the circle. Sixth question. So the cost of installing a paved floor in a circular room is 1540 at the rate of rupees 10 per square meter. Okay, what is the cost of fencing at the rate of rupees 6 per square meter? See, what is the target here? After reading a question, our target is to find what is the cost of a fencing. So fencing is nothing but, if you take this room, right? So the fencing will act as this circumference of the circle, because fencing will always be done at the corners. So which will be act as the circumference of the circle. So for every meter, what is the price? It's 6 rupees per meter. For every meter will be 6 rupees. So if I know what is the circumference of this area, the area circumference, so multiplying into 6, resultant will be the cost. So we just need to find the cost. So cost will be equal to the circumference 2 pi r into, for every 1 meter, every per meter the cost will be 6. So if you multiply this by 6, resultant will be the total cost. So now, according to the question, if we know the radius of the circle, finding the answer is easy. Whether they have given the radius of the circle here? No, radius was not given. Instead, what they have given here is the cost of installing a paved floor in a circular room is 1540 at the rate of rupees 10 per square meter. So what they have did is, they have just the complete area. For example, they have paved the tiles here. Let's assume that they have paved the tiles here. The total area is how much? 1540. So we have to find the total costing will be 1540, and for every meter per square meter they have charged 10 rupees. So when you divide this by 10, resultant will be 144. So 144 meter square will be what? The area of the circle. So area will be 154 meter square. So friends, understood or not? So the total costing for this circular room for the tiles pavement, which is 1540. And this charge is based on every per meter, square meter, they have charged 10 rupees. So I divide this 1540 by 10, resultant will be the total area. So now we got the total area of the circle, which is 154. So total area of the circle formula is what? Pi r square. So pi r square, which will be the total area, 154. So pi will be 22 by 7. Radius, actually we don't know what is the radius here. So 154. So now we can cancel it. So this will be 1 times, and this will be 7 times. So r square will be 7 into 7, which is 49. So radius will be 7. So by using the values costing, I have found the area of the circle. By using the area of the circle, I have found the radius. So once you found the radius, finding the cost of the fencing is easy, because cost of the fencing will be 22 by 7. Radius will be 7 here, and for every meter, the costing will be 6 rupees. So we can cancel it. 22 into 2 will be 44. 44 into 6. 244 something? 26, 264. Yes, 264. So the costing will be 264 rupees, which will be the answer for this question, right? So that's it. Understand the concept clearly, what we need to find here, and what are all the values that we need to find. Based on that, solving is very easy. Concept plays a major role here. So friends, answer for this question is 264 rupees. Seventh question. So the circular racing track has been developed in a field if the difference between the outer circumference and the inner circumference of a racing track is 33 meter. find the width of the track. See, we need to find what is the width of the track, and there are two circles. What they have given here, a circular track is made, and if the difference between the outer circumference and the inner circumference, that means it's like a concentric circle. They have one circle here and another circle here. So inside one circle they have another circle, and what is the value they have given here is the difference between the outer circumference, this circumference, and then the inner circumference will be 33. What is actually the formula for the circumference of a circle, which is 2 pi r. So initially, I think in this video itself I have told you, always take the outer radius of a circle as r1 and the inner circle as r2. So now what they have given here is the circumference of the outer circumference difference inner circumference, which is 33. So outer circumference will be 2 pi r1 difference inner circumference 2 pi r2 is equals to 33. So now I think we can take 2 common, pi common, resultant will be radius 1 difference radius 2 is equals to 33. So now what is our target here? Our target is to find what is the width of the track. Sorry, just a moment. So friends, here we need to find what is the width of the track. Width of the track is nothing but this part, because this will be one circle and this will be another circle. So width of the circle will be acting as the resultant part will be this part. This part will be actually the circular track. So we need to find what is that circular track width. So difference, nothing but I think we have to find r1 minus r2, that's it. So 2 into 22 by 7. So radius 1, radius 2 difference will be 33. So when you subtract the radius 1, radius 2, the difference will be the width of the track. This part we can easily find out. So this will be 44, r1 minus r2 is equals to 33 into 7 divided by 44. Cancel it on 11 table 3 times, 4 times. R1 minus R2 will be 21 by 4. Resultant will be 51 by 4. So this will be the width of the circular track, because when you subtract the radius 1 and radius 2, resultant will be this part alone, where this part will act as a circular track, right? Circular track. That's it. This will be the circular track area. So now according to the question, we have to find the width of that alone, width of the part alone. So width of the part will be total R1 minus of R2, remaining will be this width. So that's what we found here. So answer for this question is 5 1 by 4, which is in option number D. Question number 8. So two concentric circle drawn with the radius of inner circle 6 centimeter and an outer circle 50 centimeter more than the inner circle. What is the area of the annulus? That is area which is formed between two circles. So see, the question starts with the two concentric circles. So just now initial of this video I have told you, if it is two concentric circle, one circle inside another circle, which is called as a concentric circle. So here they have given the radius of the inner circle, which is 6 centimeter. So this part will be equals to 6 centimeter. And the outer circle radius, which is 50% more than the radius of the inner circle. Inner circle is how much? 6 centimeter. What is 50% of 6 centimeter? 50% of 6. 50% of 6 will be 3. Half of the number, right? 50% of 6 centimeter will be 3 centimeter. So 6 centimeter plus 3 centimeter will be 9 centimeter. So 9 centimeter will be the total radius of the outer circle radius, and the inner circle radius will be 6 centimeter. So friends, understood or not? So inner circle will be 6, outer circle will be 50% more. 50% of 6 will be 3. So 3 more when compared to the inner. So 6 plus 3 will be 9 centimeter. So 9 centimeter will be radius of the outer circle, and the inner circle radius will be 6. So now according to the question, our target is to find what is the area of this region. So this area part. So this area will be, how will you calculate? The total circle area, outer circle area minus of inner circle area, resultant will be this part. So outer circle, pi r1 minus pi r2. So we have to find the total outer circle area minus of the inner circle area. If you subtract this part, resultant will be this region. So outer circle radius will be 9 centimeter. So I think we can take pi outside. So pi r square, pi r square. So radius will be 9 square, which is 81. So minus of the inner circle radius will be 6, which is 36. So pi is into, so I think let's look at the options. So just see the options. We don't have any options which is pi. In case if we have pi, then we have to keep the pi as it is. But here we don't have pi. So we just write down the pi as 22 by 7. 81 minus 36 will be 45. Yes. So this will be 45. So 22 by 7 into 45. So I think no other way. I think we have to multiply this 45 into 22 because they have just, the options are not in a decimal value, it's in a fraction. So denominator we have 7, numerator will be 45 into 20. So 45 into 2 will be 90. So 90 will be 900 and 45 into another 2 will be 990. So 990 by 7. So 990 by 7 will be the answer for this question. So always remember that we have solved two questions which is based on a concentric circle. Inside one circle we have another circle. So if we need to solve a question like this, remember that the outer circle radius area minus of inner circle radius, which resultant will be the rest of the part. This part we will get the area, right? So that's what I have did here. And then finally where we can't able to cancel it, anyway they have given all the options are directly in terms of fraction. So I have multiplied both the numbers and divide by 7. So this will be the answer for this question. Next question. So find the circumference of the largest circle that can be inscribed in a rectangle. Just now I have told you in this video, starting of the video, 4th or 5th point I have told here. So there are two important things. One is inscribed and circumscribed. If it is a inscribed, that means the circle will be inside a square, rectangle or triangle. Here according to the question, find the circumference of the largest circle that can be inscribed in a rectangle. So inside a rectangle there is a circle. Right? Inside a rectangle we have a circle. So this will be the largest circle. Largest circle is nothing but the part of the circle should be touching this 2 point, right? Length of the 2 point which act as the largest circle. And here according to the question, what are all the values they have given here is the rectangle whose dimensions are 56 meter, 154 meter. So 154 meter will be the length and the breadth will be how much? 56 meters. So these two values are directly given in the question. Based upon this, our target is to find what is the area, find the circumference of the largest circle. So this circumference length. See, just now in the starting of the video I have told this part also. So if we draw a circle inside a rectangle, always remember that the diameter of the circle will be equal to breadth of the rectangle, because breadth of the rectangle is 56, length into breadth. So this 56 will act as a diameter of the circle. So now we got the diameter of the circle which is 56. If the diameter is 56, then what about the radius? So diameter will be 56. So radius will be 56 by 2, which is equals to 28. So now we got the radius of the circle 28. So according to the question, now finding the circumference of the circle is easy, because circumference of the circle formula will be 2 pi r. So 2 into 22 by 7 into r will be 28. I think all the options we don't have pi. Okay, so 1 7s are 7, 7 4s are 28, 4 2s are 8, 22 into 8. 16 1, 196. So 196 will be the answer is 176. So 176 will be the answer for this question, right? So always two words which are important. One is circumscribed and then inscribed, right? So these two words are important while solving a question that is based on measurements. Next question. Find the circumference of a circle that circumscribes a square of a side 7 centimeters. See, just now I have told you, inscribed, circumscribed. Circumscribed is nothing but there is a square which is inside a circle. That is the point here, right? So just see here, in the previous question, We drawn a circle inside a rectangle because it is inscribed. If it is a circumscribed, so we have to draw a square which is inside a circle. So now I've told this in the starting of the video. Always remember that. So here they have given our target is to find what is the circumference of the circle. So circumference of the circle formula will be 2 pi r. But actually the radius was not given. They have given the side of the square which is 7 centimeter. If the side of the square is 7 centimeter, just now I have told you, if you find the diagonal of the square will be a root 2, which is called as the formula for diagonal of a square is a root 2. So here if you find the diagonal of the square, the same value will also act as a diameter of the circle. Both are same, yes or no? So this is the diagonal length of the square as well. The same value will act as a diameter of the circle. So a will be side 7 root 2. So 7 root 2 will be the diagonal length of the square, but this also acts as a diameter of the circle. Diameter of the circle 7 root 2. So radius will be 7 root 2 divided by 2. So now substitute all the values here. 2 into 22 by 7 into, so radius 7 root 2 by 2. So we can cancel 7 here. So we can cancel this 11 times. So 22 root 2. So look at the options. Yes, option number C, 22 root 2, which will be the answer for this question. Question number 11. So the side of a rectangular field are 169 meter and 154 meter long. Its area is equals to area of a circular field. What is the circumference of the circle? Okay, so our target is to find what is the circumference of the circle. But they have given an important point that the rectangular field area which will be equal to the area of the circular field. So both are same, right? So rectangular field area which will be equal to area of the circle. So rectangular field area, in order to find the rectangular field area will be length into breadth. Right. So this area of a circle will be pi r square. So both the value they are saying that it's equal. So now our target is to find what is the circumference of a circle. So if we need to find the circumference of the circle, we have to know the value of r. Because without knowing the radius, we can't able to find the circumference. And the radius value is also not directly given in the question. What are all the values they have given? The side of the rectangle, 169, 154. So 169 will be length and 154 will be breadth. So length into breadth, right? So 154 into 169 area of the rectangle, which is equals to area of the circle, 22 by 7. R square, actually we have to find what is the radius here by using the values. So now we can find out all the values here. So I think we can cancel this 1 times, this will be 7 times. So 7 into 7 will be 49. 49 into 169 is equals to r square. So r will be 7 into 13. So friends, you don't want to multiply like this. Don't do it. 169, 49, bringing to 5 digit, 6 digit number, don't do this because we can take square root separately. 49 square root will be 7, 169 square root will be 13. So 7 into 13 will be 91. So finally we got the radius which is equals to 91. Now according to the question, our target to find the circumference of the circle. Circumference of the circle will be 2 pi r. So 2 into 22 by 7 into r will be 91. So we can cancel it. Resultant will be 13. So 26 into 22. So which will be the answer for this question, right? So interesting. So you can able to see many questions like this. For example, they say the area of the square will be equal to area of a semicircle. So what you need to do here is area of a square formula which is equals to area of a semicircle or area of a circle. By using that, try to find out the radius. After finding the radius, and we can, based upon the question, we can able to find out whatever values they are asking in a question. Because if it is a circle, 2 values are important. One is radius and diameter. That's it. So if you know how to find these 2 values, solving most of the question that is on the concept of circles will be easy. Next question. An equilateral triangle of side 12 centimeter is inscribed in a circle. What is the area of the circle? See, inscribed in a circle, that means inside a circle there is an equilateral triangle. So starting of this video I have told this, right? You have to learn two important formula. One is the equilateral triangle area formula, and second is you have to know how to find the radius, right? How to find the center point to the vertex point of the equilateral triangle, which act as a radius of the circle. So there are two important points, two important formulas that you need to learn here in this concept of circle. So now according to the question, the equilateral triangle of side 12 centimeter is inscribed inside a circle. That means inside a circle we have a triangle, and this triangle is an equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle is nothing but all the three sides of a triangle are equal, and the sides what they have given is 12 centimeters. So this will be 12, this will be 12, and this will be 12. So remember that we have one formula which is called as a root 3. So this formula, actually what we will find here is the center point of the equilateral triangle. From this point, for this vertex point of the one point of the triangle, we know that if it is a triangle, we have three vertices point, 1, 2, and 3. So the length of the three vertices point from the center point of the equilateral triangle, in order to find this length, so they use a formula a root 3. So this act as the length of the center point to one vertices point of the triangle. So this value will also act as the radius of the circle. Yes or no? So this length will be equal to, just a moment. Sorry friends. So this length will be equals to the radius of the circle. That's what they are using, the radius of the circle formula a by root 3. So here a will be the side which is 12. So 12 divided by root 3. So now we found the radius of the circle by using the equilateral triangle formula, that is a by root 3. The radius will be 12 by root 3. So now according to the question, our target is to find what is the area of the circle. Area of the circle is nothing but pi r square. So look at the options. So in all the options, pi they have kept as it is. So keep the pi value as it is. R will be 12 by root 3, and this will be square. So pi 12 square will be 144. So divided by root 3 square will be 3. So we can cancel it. 4 3s are 12, remaining will be 224, 8 3s are 24. So 48 pi. So this will be the answer. Yes, we have an option number D, 48 pi. So in case if you are learning this formula newly, note down it. So, and there is another formula also that you have to learn in this concept of circle, that is on equilateral triangle, area of a equilateral triangle. I think root 3 by 4a square, which act as a area of the equilateral triangle, right? So most important concept, because recent times railway, SSC, SSB, most of the question papers, you can able to see the question that was asked from the triangle inside a circle, or else a circle which is inside the triangle. Two concepts, inscribed and circumscribed, that is based on circle and a triangle, right? So this will be the answer for this question. Next question. So the diameter of a wheel is 88 centimeter. Find the number of revolutions in which it will cover a distance of 8,712 meters. See, it's like important concept of a circle. One important concept, like there will be a roller which rolls 22 times, and what is the total distance covered by a roller. So these kind of questions you can mostly see on the circle part. Here according to the question, the diameter of the wheel which is 88 centimeter and the number of revolutions, we need to find this 88 centimeter roller, how many times it rolls in order to cover 8,712 meter. So the value of diameter is in centimeter, and here the total distance covered is in terms of meter. Got it? So try to convert into any one way, either centimeter or a meter. So now first let's understand the logic. So see, the total diameter of the circle what they have given is 88 centimeter. So radius, its diameter, so the radius will be half of this diameter, which is 44 centimeter. So 44 centimeter will be the radius. So the circumference of the circle will be how much? 2 pi r. So 2 into 22 by 7 into radius, which is 44. And this circumference, if it rotate 1 times, the total distance covered will be the circumference of the circle. But we have to find how many times this roller rotates in order to cover the total distance of 8712 meter. So this is in terms of centimeter and this is in terms of meter. I can convert the meter into centimeter, so that into 100. That's it. So when I understood how I wrote it, right? So this will be the circumference of the circle into the number of times it rotates, that is equals to the total distance, into 100, because the value is in terms of meter, I have converted into centimeter. Meter to centimeter will be 100. So now we can cancel all the values. So I think better we can cancel slowly by 2 table. If I cancel it on 2 table, which will be 22, cancel it on 2 table, 4 2s are 8, 3 2s are 6, 5 2s are 10, 6 2s are 12. Again we can cancel it on 2 table. So if I cancel it on 2 table, 2 2s are 4, 1 2s are 2, 7 2s are 14, 8 2s are 16. Again we can cancel it on 2 table. This will be 11 times. Cancel it on 2 table. 1 times 1 2s are 2, 0, 8 2s are 16, remainder 1, 9 2s are 18. Let me try to look at the options. All are not decimal point. None of the values are in a decimal point. That means I think all the values will be getting cancelled here. So I think we can directly go with 11 table. If I cancel it on 11 table, 11 9s are 99. So remaining will be 9 99, again 9 times. 1 11s are 11, again 9 times. So 1 2s are 2, this will be 50. So finally we have in the left hand side divide by 7. Right hand side we have 50 into 9 into 7. So friends, understood or not? So n is equals to 50 into 9 7s are 63. So let me cancel it. 5 3s are 15, 1, 6 5s are 30, 31, 3150. So answer for this question is 3150. Yes, we have in the options. See, slowly try to cancel the values. In the exams I have seen many students, they, in order to cancel within 10 seconds, 5 seconds, they try to cancel it on 44 table. Don't do that. Slowly 2 table, and then at last I have looked at the options. Why? Because at this point 1089, I have just cross-checked with the option whether the options are in a decimal point. None of the values are in a decimal point. So it will definitely cancel it on 11 table. So I directly cancelled it on 11 table, again by 11 table. So finally we have only 2 here. So 250. So in the left hand side we don't have any numerator value, denominator alone 7. So I have multiplied it by 7 into right hand side, and then I got the answer. See, very easy. Don't try to use any shortcut, fast technique, nothing. Be slow and steady, right? So without any mistake, you can surely able to get the answer faster. So this will be the answer for this question number, I don't know, but 13 I think so. 13th question. Question number 14. So the area of an equilateral triangle inscribed in a circle is 9 root 3 centimeters square. What is the area of the circle? So our target is to find what is the area of the circle. See, very important question, because just now I have told you we have solved one question that is based on an equilateral triangle. So here what they are saying is our target is to find what is the area of the circle. Area of the circle is nothing but pi r square. If we know the value of r, solving the question is easy. In order to find the value of r, here we are going to apply two important formulas. One is the area of an equilateral triangle, and then the side, the radius of a circle if we have a triangle inside the circle. Just now in the 2 or 3 question back I have solved it, a by root 3. So just see how we are going to apply all these here. So according to the question, first value they have given, area of an equilateral triangle is 9 root 3. So there is a triangle, and this triangle, area of this triangle which is inside a circle, this area has been given. Area is what? A root 3, which is 9 root 3 centimeter square. They have given the area of the triangle. So area of the equilateral triangle will be root 3 by 4 a square. So this is the formula, right? Area of an equilateral triangle, root 3 by 4 a square. So this value they have given in the question, which is 9 root 3. So try to cancel it. We can cancel root 3. So a square will be 9 fours are 36. So a will be 6. So finally we got the value of a 6, which act as the side of a triangle. Side of the triangle. We got 6. We got 6 here as well. We got 6. So now we got the side of an equilateral triangle, which is 6. If we know the side of an equilateral triangle, finding this length is easy. Just now we have learned this. For finding the length of this line, length which is a divided by root 3. So applying this value, resultant will be the radius of the circle. So this value, in order to find the length of this line, we use a formula a root 3 in an equilateral triangle. So the same value will also be act as the radius of the circle. So now we know that a will be 6 side length. So 6 divided by root 3, which act as the radius of the circle. Right. So now according to the question, our target is to find what is the area of the circle. Area of the circle will be pi r square, and in the options they kept pi as it is, r square, which will be 6 divided by root 3 the whole square. So pi 6 square will be 36, root 3 the whole square will be 3. So 12 times 12 pi. So answer for this question is 12 pi. Whether we have in the option, yes, option number D, which is 12 pi. So when see here, two important formula, again you have to learn in the topic circle. One is the area of the equilateral triangle, and second is the from the center point of the equilateral triangle to one side of the vertices length, that also act as the radius of the circle. That is the formula a divided by root 3. So you have to learn these two formulas in order to solve the question that is based on a circle inside a triangle or triangle inside a circle. Mostly it will be an equilateral triangle, which will be the answer for this question. Next question, 15th question. When a square is made by bending a wire, then the area of a square is 484 centimeters square. If the same wire is bent as a circle, then the area of the circle is. So when see here, when a square is made by bending a wire, so they have made a square by bending a wire, right? Some wire length, and the area of the square has been given 484. And by using the same length, they are making a circle. So our target is to find what is the area of the circle. Simple logic, if the square is made into a circle, that means the square perimeter of a square will be equal to circumference of the circle. Simple logic, yes or no? Because they are making the square by bending a wire. That means the wire length will be the perimeter of the square. So perimeter of the square length, which is equals to the circumference of the circle. Both the line length will be same. So now according to the question, what they have given us, the area of the square, which is 484. So area of the square area is what? A square. So a square is equal to 484. So a will be 22. That means the square side will be 22. So 22, 22, 22, 22. So if all the four sides are 22, the resultant will be 88. 88 will be the total perimeter, yes or no? If you add all the four values, resultant will be the perimeter. So perimeter of the square will be 88, which will be equal to the circumference of the circle, 2 into 22 by 7 into r. So we can cancel it. 22, 20, 44. So 44 will be 2 times. So radius will be 14. So finally we got the radius of the circle as 14. According to the question, our target is to find what? The area of a circle. Yes, we need to find the area of the circle, which is pi r square. And in the option we don't have pi. So 22 by 7. So this will be 14 into 14. So cancel it 2 times. So this will be 44. So 44 into 14. That's it. So this will be the answer for this question, right? So simple. Try to understand the logic, how they are applying values here. Sometimes I think 2 or 3 questions back we have solved a question like this. So the area will be equals to this area. A rectangle area will be equals to the circle area. So similarly here what they are saying is a wire is bent in the form of square, and this wire is equals to the this circumference length. Both are same. So our target is to find the area. That's it. So what I did is initially I have found what is the perimeter of the square. Before that I need to find the one side length. So area of the square will be a square and a will be 22. By using that I have found one side length which is 22. Adding 4 side length which will be equal to perimeter which is 88. So 88 is equals to 2 pi r and the radius will be 14. So now according to the question our target to find the radius of the circle which is pi r square. So substituting all the values here, resultant will be the area of the circle. 4 4 is 16, 1, 4 16, 4 1 6, 616 centimeter. All the values are in centimeter. Yes, centimeter square, which will be the answer for the question.